On today's video, get ready to watch a live deal breakdown where my student Richard wholesaled a house and made a $15,000 profit. Best of all, he did it virtually, which means he never saw the property in person, and he did it without spending any money, not even for marketing. I'll show you how so you can do the same coming up.
This video is brought to you by Flipster, the nation's #1 real estate software, with tools for finding, funding, and flipping houses. Check it out now at getflipster.com.
If this is your first time here, my name is Jerry Norton. I've been a full-time real estate investor now for over 17 years. Amongst other things, I specialize in flipping houses all across the country, and I've helped thousands of new investors get into the game of flipping and create six-figure and even seven-figure incomes. If you want to learn how to flip houses so you can live your dream life, be sure to subscribe, click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. I haven't been this excited making a video in a long time, and the reason is my student and YouTube subscriber Richard from Wisconsin just did his first deal by doing exactly what I teach and made a $15,000 profit by doing so. Let me summarize it for you and then we'll break it down each step of the transaction. Step number one, Richard used my software to find a distressed on-market house for sale remotely or virtually in Chicago. Step two, he followed my double dip strategy and got the listing agent to present an offer to the seller and got the property under contract for him for $116,000. Since it was on market, the agent handled the negotiations and the paperwork, and since the seller pays the commissions, it didn't cost Richard a dime in marketing costs to find and secure this deal. Step three, following a technique I teach, he found a local active cash buyer for free who is currently buying in the same neighborhood as Richard's deal. Now this is important because Richard has never done a deal in that market and doesn't yet have a cash buyer list. Step number four, using my proven contract, he secured the deal with a cash buyer for $133,000. Step number five, my transactional coordinator stepped in, opened escrow, and handled the entire closing, including closing one between the seller and Richard as the buyer for $116,000, and closing two with Richard now as the seller and the cash buyer for $133,000. That's right, this was a double closing, back to back, and best of all, Richard is in my funding program, so I funded the entire closing 100%, so it cost Richard zero money to do this deal, and he made approximately $15,000. And like I said, he did this deal virtually, which means he never saw the property in person. So do me a favor right now and leave a comment and say, congrats on your deal. Richard, you are a flipping genius. In fact, stay to the end of this video and you can listen to a call I had with Richard and my transaction coordinator to discuss his deal. But if you were lost or confused about any of those 5 steps, don't worry, now I'll slow down and I'll break it down in detail so it's super clear. I'll also refer to other videos and several resources to help you be able to do deals just like Richard. So let's go back to step number 1, which was how Richard found this deal. This property was on market, which means the seller hired a real estate agent to list and sell the property. By doing so, the seller agreed to pay a total of 6% in commissions. And what I'm about to say is very important. Not all distressed properties and motivated sellers find a private buyer and sell off market. Many do, but a lot of sellers are willing to hire an agent, pay commissions, and sell their distressed properties on market. Understanding that is a game changer because it opens up a ton more possibilities for finding deals. And the best part is, unlike off-market leads that cost thousands of dollars, on-market leads are public and don't cost you anything to find them. And to make the process even easier and even faster, I developed a software tool that will find all of the underpriced properties in any zip code in seconds. And I'll give it to you for free. Just go to mydatacruncher.com. What's cool is you don't need to look for deals in your backyard. Richard lives in Wisconsin and found this deal in Lansing, Illinois, near Chicago. Now, to really understand how to go after on-market leads in a big way, be sure to check out a video where I explain how to do it in detail. I'll put the link to that video in the description below for you. Step number 2 after finding this lead is Richard followed my double dip strategy to present a cash offer. Now this is where you go directly to the listing agent and ask him or her to also represent you as the buyer in the transaction and present an offer. Now Richard used my deal analyzer tool, which automatically crunched the numbers and told him a good wholesale buy price was $116,000. Now I'll give that tool to you for free as well. Just go to mydealanalyzer.com to download that. Now, when he called the agent, Richard used my proof of funds to prove he had the cash backing him, and the agent was more than willing to present Richard's offer. Remember, double the commission. And like I said, the agent handled all of the negotiations and the paperwork with the seller who accepted his offer. Now, to learn exactly what to say to agents as well as what to make sure the agent includes in your written offer, be sure to get my word-for-word agent scripts and 10-point offer checklist, which I'll give to you for free. Just go to agentofferscripts.com. So at that point, Richard had a fully executed contract with the seller for $116,676. Step 3 is Richard needed to find a cash buyer. Now, since he's new to Chicago, he didn't have a cash buyer list, so he followed a free black hat technique I teach and found a local cash buyer who is actively flipping houses right in the same neighborhood as Richard's deal. Now the thing is, flippers love to do repeat deals where they're already currently flipping. So when Richard called this cash buyer, they wanted his deal and immediately pulled the trigger and agreed to pay $133,150 for Richard's deal. Now if you're wondering, well, if the deal was on market, why didn't the cash buyer just buy it? Well, because they didn't. Richard did. Most cash buyers don't have the time or the desire to chase leads and make offers. That's the beauty and value of a wholesaler. So once Richard's cash buyer agreed to pay $133,000, it was time for step 4, which was to secure it in writing with a contract. And because Richard is in my 100% funding program, instead of trying to do an assignment, he decided to do a double closing. Now I'll explain more in a minute, but that means he signed a purchase and sale agreement to secure his cash buyer, which I'll give to you as well for free, link in the description. Finally, step 5 is where Richard put it all together. Now, my team stepped in and handled the entire process, including opening escrow, ordering title, and preparing and coordinating both closings with the seller and the cash buyer. And since Richard is in my funding program, he was able to use my cash for closing number 1 with the seller for $116,676 plus closing fees. That means I paid 100% of the purchase. Now, what I love about double closing wholesale deals is Richard told the seller he was a cash buyer, then performed on the contract. The seller was happy, and even more importantly, the agent is thrilled since he got double the commissions. In fact, he told Richard he would find and bring him more deals. Now Richard has a hardworking, motivated agent bird-dogging deals for him. After closing 1, Richard turned around and did closing number 2 by immediately reselling the property to his cash buyer for $133,150. Now, since my team handled the entire transaction, Richard didn't have to worry about any logistics and made around $15,000 net profit wholesaling this property. And because it was a double closing, unlike an assignment, Richard's buyer had no idea how much Richard purchased the home for, so his wholesale fee was unknown to that cash buyer. Now, aside from following these 5 steps that I outlined in this video, along with all of the free resources, if you want me to fund your deals 100% just like I did for Richard, go to usejerryscash.com to register for a free training to learn all the details. Now, I'm glad you made it this far in the video. Let's cut to a call where I had with Richard and my transaction coordinator to discuss his deal. Yeah, congrats on your deal. That's great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, we just want to make sure we got everything on track for it. So let me just make sure I got this right. So your property's in Lansing, right?
Correct.
Lansing, Illinois.
Correct, yes.
Okay, and you've got your contract with the seller is for $116,676.
Correct. Yes.
And seller is Francisco and Maria. Okay, got that. And you have an executed purchase and sale agreement with the seller, and for that 116.
That's correct. That's original. Although I do have a clause in the contract with Francisco and Maria for an extra 15 days if necessary.
So we may need that just because Rochelle's gonna need to pull title and get everything ready. So we'll probably end up exercising that, don't you think, Rochelle?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can write that. Yep.
Okay, I had never done a deal in Illinois before, so
Uh-huh.
I live in Wisconsin. So
Okay.
it's different in Wisconsin than Illinois.
Yeah.
By the way, I found a really decent agent too. He was really willing to work with me.
Was this property on market?
Yes, it was on market. Yes.
Okay, and how'd you find it? With the software?
Yes, I did with the software.
Okay.
And once I found it, so I talked to him about the double dip,
Uh-huh.
and he was willing to go with that. He liked it.
Oh yeah.
So he's acting as the buyer and the seller.
Good for you. Yeah, you followed exactly what I teach. They're extremely motivated for that, right?
Yes, he was. And you know what he told me? He said, "Oh, we can find more. I'll get them to you
That's
before they go on market."
love it. That's the best. Now it's repeat business. So your buyer, your cash buyer, and their price with you is $133,150.
Correct.
Do they have any restrictions or requirements, delays, anything, or are they ready to go?
They are moving quite fast. They close pretty fast.
So we'll want to communicate with them, and Rochelle will open up dialogue too. So she'll talk with the seller, she'll talk with your buyer, she'll coordinate everybody, make the thing all a smooth transaction. But what we'll do is we'll line up kind of both closings, back to back. But Rochelle, you may want to reach out to them and just let them know, hey, we're working on everything as fast as we can. We'll close as soon as we've got clear title.
Yes, absolutely.
How did you find your buyer? What did you do to find them?
The buyer, I went through, I looked up the buyers around Chicago
Okay.
and local buyers that were buying, and I saw two. Well, actually, I got in touch with like three of them.
Yeah.
And I came real close with some of them, but they just kind of declined. And one of the ones that I spoke to that hadn't gotten back to me yet, finally got back to me, and they said, "Yeah, we like that. We'll take it."
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, maybe there'll be a repeat buyer for you too. Hi, buddy.
I'm hoping. Yes.
But I sent it to your email before the call so you can look over it, and we can go over anything. If you have any questions, if you want to pull it up now.
I'll get right on it.
Okay, sounds good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow up with you in just maybe a couple hours just to see if you have any questions on the funding agreement. It's really simple and easy. It's already what you've seen. Qualifying for it. It's just a reminder of everything. And then I'll send it via DocuSign. I'll just follow up and see if you have any questions, and then maybe I'll have some additional questions from the email that you send me. But we'll get everything going today. Does that sound okay?
Yes, it does. And thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
And good work, Richard. This is really exciting. Can't wait to do more with you. Keep them coming.
Thank you for the training.
Yep, you're welcome. And thank you, Rochelle, for all your hard work.
No
Yeah.
problem. You guys have a
Thank you,
wonderful day.
Michelle.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.